Okay, welcome. We are coming to you midday from the floor, right in front of the car's booth. We just got done an amazing panel on diversity and inclusion. We're going to show that to you in a little bit. What, you're telling me to move over? You're telling them to move over. Oh, we got a bakery cart behind us. That's a beautiful... Track that man down. We should get him on the live stream. But today's just been a continuation of yesterday. Dealers show up, they look refreshed. We're excited. We're coming off the announcement this morning that ASOTU, Automotive State of the Union, has raised a seed round of funding that all the investors are dealers that you know, Brian Benstock and Scott Simons and Liza Borches and David Long and David Lester and one that we're going to announce later as well. And we just want to say, it is our desire to wrap our arms around this entire industry, do it from the dealership up, include the vendors and the industry partners. But we know that the more people in the stores that are aware of what is going on and have a knowledge and understanding of consumer behavior and technology development and marketing and service, the more people that have a little understanding, the faster innovation will be able to go in this industry. And that's really what we all need. If you haven't seen the content, you can go to any of our social media platforms. You can get there by going to ASOTU.com or following the hashtag ASOTU on social media platforms so that you can see all the content we're pumping out day by day. The editors are pumping out content right now. It's going to be posted throughout the day. I do want to say this. The energy that is here, the family environment that is here, is really pretty unique. Dana Perino, the keynote speaker from yesterday, she's one of the co-hosts of The Five on Fox News. She said she was so impressed with the fact that dealers and the dealership body seems to be more in touch with their communities than any other industry she could reference. And that's really important. She gave them an interesting compliment. She goes, "You're the best politicians I've ever met." She goes, and I don't mean that in the bad way or the stigmatized way. I mean that in the good way, because the best politicians should be in touch with the community, should know the needs, should serve the community, and not the other way around. So I know it's a Saturday, a lot of people doing a lot of great things. It's an odd day for us to be making content, but there's a lot going on, so we're going to continue to cover it. If you weren't able to be here, we're going to give you as much as we can while we're here. Today, I'm excited to talk about our partners today, AutoFi. AutoFi are just innovators in the industry. They're actually over the horizon doing the work and coming back. I'm going to share an interview with Carrie Wise. We're going to jump to the interview now, and then we're going to come back here and we're going to wrap it up. So check out this great conversation that I had with my good friend and very savvy innovator, Carrie Wise, the CMO of AutoFi. All right, I'm here with Carrie Wise, CMO of AutoFi. Carrie, thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
Thank you so much for visiting us.
So the show is a little different this year, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You're someone who's been to a lot of NADA shows with several different companies. What's your perspective of the energy and the feel from the dealers this year?
So first of all, I think I've been to like 20 NADAs.
That's
right?
unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
I was thinking like 8 or 9.
Yeah, not necessarily boothing, but like attending.
Okay,
right?
so it's a very credible opinion we're about to get. What do you feel is different about this year? What is the dealer energy?
You know, we have pent up energy, right? We have been home for what, 2 years now? I can't even keep track.
Too long.
2 years.
Too long.
Yeah. So what was it? The last one was 2020, I guess, was in person.
It was.
Right. So
and it was here.
And it was here. But now that we've been home and we've been doing everything virtually, that worked for a while. But like this year, we're back in person and you can feel everyone's excitement. Like I have never been more excited to hug people, to talk about the business face to face. So it's so exciting just to see all of our colleagues and friends, to see the booths and just to be in person again.
I know. You know, when people are like, hey, I don't know if we'll ever go back to in person. Right. It's too efficient. Right. You're like, yeah, it's the second you go out, you're like, no, we're just going to keep doing this.
I had to pace myself coming into NADA because I just knew I'm an extrovert. And I was like, my energy is going to be so high. I'm going to want to talk to so many people. I got to pace myself. Like curfew, you know?
Yes, for sure. So let me ask you a question. This is your first NADA with AutoFi.
It is.
Right? How is it different? Like, what is the energy coming from AutoFi into the industry? There've been a lot of announcements. There've been a lot of partnerships. Like, how are you feeling about the synergy of AutoFi in this moment at this show?
I joined AutoFi. I knew AutoFi was a rocket ship, right? Like when I heard about the things that we were doing, not just for dealers, but for aggregators, for digital dealers, for OEMs, for lenders, like I knew I wanted to be a part of that. But I also knew that in some ways we were a hidden secret. Like, and as a marketer, it was my job to like bring that to light. And I think with any DA, it's that opportunity, right? It's that opportunity to elevate our brand, to show people what I know is happening.
It's the truth.
Inside, right? It's the truth. And so it's exciting, right? To have a booth. It's our biggest booth we've ever had.
It's a beautiful booth. It is so cool. It's actually quite large, actually. You can probably see it in the shot.
Right.
It goes back.
Yeah, and you have
cucumber water, I just
We have
noticed.
cucumber water. We have a
fancy
barista.
cucumber
we have
water.
a barista, right? I'm taking this to the next
You must
level.
be a big shot.
And and then right before to announce new products, to have a huge investment in the company, a great valuation.
All right, so let's talk about that for a second.
Let's talk about the money.
Let's talk about the last two things you just said, right? Give us the announcement if people hadn't heard.
Yeah, so the investment announcement, we just got an $85 million
Couple of bucks.
Yes. Santander Bank and Crosslink partners.
Very strategic, right?
Yes, and Silicon Valley Bank. So the three of them together, we got a $700 million valuation, which is just amazing for us.
You're almost there.
Almost
right?
there.
Almost to the 1B, right?
And I think for us, it's validation of what we're doing.
Yeah.
Santander has been a partner of ours, so them investing means like they believe in us, right? They believe in us. They want to see us grow, and we're going to use that money to accelerate growth. In engineering, right? We need to build products.
Yes.
We need to have more dealer success and salespeople to support our clients. And so it's going to help us accelerate, and it's also going to help us remain independent.
Right.
Because while, you can never promise that that's going to be forever.
Of course.
We think we have an advantage being independent.
Yes.
Right. And not being under some huge
you get to move
conglomerate.
fast.
Yes.
Right. You get to make your own decisions.
Yeah.
Right. There's not a lot of permission asking. Right. You get to break things. You get to make trouble.
Yes.
Right. So tell us, what would you say is the most specific reason why dealers should take a look at AutoFi more than anything else out there? Like, what specifically can you do and are you excited about that you think will help dealers?
Yeah. So a lot of digital retailing providers provide, or they'll say they provide, some end-to-end experience. Yep. I think we would say the same thing.
I hear that a lot.
Same thing. Yeah. But I think there's a big difference between a lead and a funded deal, right?
Yeah, a big difference.
A big difference,
Yeah.
right? And so we like to say that, we're kind of elevating digital retailing from leads to actual deals, funded deals. And what do we mean by that? Well, financing is a huge part of a transaction.
Yes.
And we started with the financing and then moved into digital retailing, right? We started with the financing, which is the hardest
It's a more difficult piece, right?
It's a more difficult piece, right? So our direct connection to 40 plus banks, right? That enable us to be able to get a real-time credit decision in less than 90 seconds. That's at 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
That means that you're not waiting for your F&I director to call a customer back the next day.
No, when you show up in the morning, it's funded and it's moving.
It's done. And I think that the relationship to the banks, the compliance that we have, there's something, I'm going to geek you out, but it's called ASOTU compliant, right? These banks want to know that the digital retailing providers can handle those credit apps, can handle this private information. We're the only digital retailing provider that is SOC 2 compliant, right? So I would say, not to bring it back.
That was geeky.
Yeah, I was geeking out there, but you need to know that detail. Ask them if they're SOC 2 compliant,
I'll tell you what,
right?
If it becomes a problem, it's a big problem.
It's
right?
a problem. That's the fear, and I think so. So for us, it's about pulling financing forward because that's what consumers are looking for. And more importantly, it's an advantage for the dealer. We're finding that by enabling the consumer to customize a payment, to get a credit app, to even get a funded deal, they're making more profit. $500 increase in PVR. They're choosing F&I products in our experience up front before they even talk to the dealer, 2.2. Now, this doesn't replace the F&I director and the
That's
people.
a key point,
That's
right? Because a lot of people hear them like, whoa. The
No.
F&I director is a big part of my business.
Yeah,
Right?
It's efficiency,
Yeah.
though. We want to enable your A players to do more,
Yes.
right?
Right.
And we know that there's lack of efficiency in the experience, right? And the other part of that I'd say that makes us different is it's not about just the online experience, and we've all heard that. It's also about the showroom experience, and one of the launches that we rolled out is what we're calling Deal Center, right? We think that we need to empower everyone in the store to interact with the deal, right? And it's going to depend on the store and what they're comfortable with. We have a dealership that is putting Deal Center in the hands of their BDC. So someone calls and says, I want a payment. I won't come in until you give me a payment.
Right.
They can go into, it's common. They can go into that tool, and a BDC rep could give the customer an accurate payment
That's
based
huge.
on the guardrails of the dealer.
Because
right?
with the Carvanas and the other online retailers, it's expected.
It's expected.
It's expected. And if you don't have that, you're losing people right at that point.
Yeah, and I think we have our platform is still controlled by the dealer, right? So it's still their pricing, it's still their markups, it's still their lenders. It's still the points that they would take on a loan. We basically want to enable the showroom experience online, but we also want to arm your BDC, your sales, your F&I, your management with the same exact tools
to be able to give the info
showroom
and the understanding right there so that people can move through.
That's exactly it.
Last question as we wrap here. Going into 2022, a lot of change, transition. What is your advice to dealers in the industry? How should their mindset be focused?
I don't think we can avoid digital retailing. I mean, we have heard all kinds of news of disruptors that are out there that I don't want to name them, but I'll just name one, Carvana, right? The elephant in the room. But we've heard of these companies that are out there offering these experiences. And so I think dealers have a unique opportunity to take it into their own hands.
That's right.
And do it themselves.
Fully
and they
agree with
have
that.
the local community advantage as well, right? So I don't think we can hold off on putting our foot into digital retailing. So put your toe in, right? Maybe you're not going to do
Take
complete
a step
financing
is what you're saying,
with
right?
us. Yeah, take a step with us. We have dealers that want to do the financing and they love that. We have other dealers that are kind of starting off with enabling customization of a payment as an example, or getting a trade value. But you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Right? Because I don't want to be complaining about some of these disruptors 5 years from now.
I know. Right. You're like, if you don't take a step, I don't want to hear it.
Exactly.
I don't
if you
want
don't
to hear
take
it.
a step, I don't want to hear it. And I think this is where it's going. The customer's going to drive this change, and we have to adapt. It sounds so cliche.
No, but it's still the truth.
But it's still the truth.
It is. Carrie, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. Thanks for just the energy that you
Yes,
bring.
thank
And
you.
You're doing a good job with the regulator on it. Like, keep it steady, keep it coming. Thanks to you and the team at AutoFi for all the support.
Thank you so much, Paul. I appreciate it.
All right. So as you can see, Carrie is one of the most fun people to hang around with, for one, but she's also leading the charge from a marketing trajectory of one of the most innovative companies in the finance space. And if you haven't heard about them, or you don't know much about them, or if you've been a little curious, you really should check them out. Their new products, their new offerings are going to really do a lot for your process. And like she said, are going to make you more efficient. It's not trying to replace anything in your store. It's actually trying to boost efficiency in a time when, I don't know if you've noticed, but it's a little bit harder than usual to hire good people. So please show some love to our friends at AutoFi. We couldn't make all of this content without our partners who help us really bring the camera crews and pay for the Wi-Fi hotspots and pay for the tech fees. And so their desire is really to serve. So show them a little love. Visit their spot. We built a page out for them on the ASOTU site. So if you go to ASOTU.com, you'll be able to find the AutoFi site, or you can just click the links. But that's it for the Midday live stream. We're going to come to you one more time today. In a little bit, we're going to be giving a keynote on vendor-dealer relationships and the speed of innovation. Really excited about that. And we have a lot of other interviews, a lot of other products to bring you, a lot of other dealers to talk to. And it's only Saturday afternoon. We still have a full day to go. So until next time.